Welcome to season 13 of the Parenting Aces podcast, a proud member of the Tennis Channel Podcast Network. I'm your host, Lisa Stone, and boy, oh boy, do I have a lot to share with y'all in this week's episode. I just returned from a 10-day trip to Spain where I went to the Barcelona Open and also trained for a week at the Rafa Nadal Academy as part of a group trip with Avanza Sports. And I am just so excited about everything I learned there, all the people that I met, all the experiences that I had. And for this week's podcast, I actually recorded some interviews while at the academy. I had the opportunity to speak with the head of tennis, the man who actually developed the tennis curriculum for the academy alongside Rafa and his longtime coach, his uncle Toni Nadal. And so you're going to hear from Marc, and then you're going to hear from the project manager of Avanza Sports who organized the group that I went with, and his name is Danny. And then you're going to hear from several juniors that I met, some of whom were on our trip and some of whom were just training at the academy, and I got the opportunity to speak with them. And really the purpose of this week's episode is not only to share with you my experience of being at the academy, but to also share what some players' experiences are, so that if you're looking for an opportunity, short-term or long-term, for your junior player or players to go train at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain, you will have, hopefully, by the end of this, a better understanding of what that means for your child, what the expectations are and should be for training there, and also just opportunities for the parents if you want to go and train while your kid is training, or just want to stay at the academy while your child is there training. Hoping that you'll gain some insights as to what's available for you. But before I kind of segue into the interviews, and you're going to hear, I'm just going to boom, 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 interview to interview, and then I'll be back on at the end to kind of summarize all this stuff. I wanted to kind of go over what my experience was as an adult training at the Nadal Academy. And again, I was with a group of people. There were 30 something of us total in our group. We were of varying levels, but there wasn't a wide range of tennis level. I think mostly from about 3-0 to some of the men in our group were probably 5-0s, maybe 1-5-5 level players, but certainly a range of players. And the academy does a great job of putting you in an appropriate group so that you're training at a level that feels comfortable for you while pushing you outside your comfort zone a little bit. I do want to encourage y'all to watch the video version of this episode just so you can kind of get a glimpse inside the academy, because I recorded the interviews at various spots around the academy. And if you missed my reels on Instagram while I was there, please go check those out. If you just go to Parenting Aces on Instagram, you'll see those reels in our feed. And I tried to give y'all some insights along the way while I was there, because I was scared I would forget something, and I wanted to make sure to give you a complete picture of what that experience is like. So let me kind of start at the beginning of my trip. I arrived in Barcelona on a Thursday in the morning, and after flying all night, and checked into the hotel after Avanza picked me up at the airport and took me to the hotel. I got checked in, took a quick shower, took a nap for a couple hours because I was exhausted. And then that evening, the whole group got together for a group dinner just so everybody could kind of meet and mingle. And in true Spanish fashion, our dinner started at 10 p.m. So it was a very late night, which was probably good for getting me kind of acclimated to the time zone that I was now in Spain. And then on Friday and Saturday, Avanza provided us with tickets to the Barcelona Open, and we had incredible seats. Our seats were in the front row, right behind the corporate boxes that were courtside. So we had amazing seats for the main court. We were there Friday and Saturday at the Barcelona Open as part of our package, our group trip. And oh my goodness, that was so much fun to be on site. And again, if you missed it, I think I did some reels from the tournament as well. So check out the Instagram feed for that. On Sunday, we flew from Barcelona to Mallorca, which that flight was included again in our trip with Avanza Sports. And then we were transported from the Palma airport to the Rafa Nadal Academy, where we checked in and went to our rooms. And I did have a private room there. I will tell you, the rooms are pretty Spartan. They're comfortable and nice and quiet, and you have everything you need, including your own bathroom, of course, with a very spacious, nice shower, nice sink and countertop. The bed was very comfortable. There's a desk in the room, a TV in the room, and my room had a balcony, which was super nice, that looked out over the soccer court or soccer field at the facility, where you could see players throughout the day kicking around the soccer ball, having fun out there. So that was kind of cool. So that was Sunday. We got checked in. We had dinner together as a group, which was lovely. And then on Monday morning, bright and early, our tennis started. So every day we alternated between starting with an hour of fitness and then 2 hours of tennis, or we would start with the 2 hours of tennis and then go directly to our hour of fitness. Before that, though, our breakfast at the Academy was included. It was a massive buffet with everything that you can imagine that you would need for breakfast. And that was a great way to start the morning, because we would sit together and kind of wake up slowly together and then go out to the courts where we would train. And the nice thing is, once our groups got set, there was a little shuffling at the end of Monday's tennis. But by Tuesday, everybody was in the appropriate group, and we had basically the same coach for the entire stint that we were there. The Academy does a great job of keeping the coach-player ratio very small. I was on the court with either 3 total players or 4 total players, depending on the day, with one coach. And the coach would guide us through different types of drills. We were working on different skills every day, and every day we worked on the serve. We worked on footwork, which those are 2 of my hardest things. So I was very happy to have that input. And then in the afternoons, we were done by noon or 12:30 every day. The afternoons were basically time to either go have some match play. You could use the spa at the Academy, the adults could, and the spa was absolutely incredible, really beautiful. There are massage rooms, there's physical therapy areas, there's a whole gym and yoga studio and Pilates studio. Inside the spa itself, there are a variety of different pools, some with jets, some heated, some cold. There's a sauna, a steam room, these different types of showers with different types of experiences in the showers, whether it was alternating hot and cold spray or integrating aromatherapy into the water. It was just really incredible. So in the afternoons, we could use the spa, we could go hit or go sightseeing, which I did a couple of the days. And then in the evenings, for the most part, we were on our own for dinner. However, there were some excursions that you could sign up for through Avanza Sports and go on different sightseeing trips, both in Barcelona and once we got to Mallorca. And some of the people that in our group chose to go on those excursions. Because I had been there before, I chose not to do the excursions and to really stay on campus and take advantage of everything that it had to offer. So all I can tell you is I would go back in a heartbeat. It was an incredibly enlightening, fun, invigorating, inspirational experience. I had the opportunity to see Rafa's dad there one day. Uncle Toni was there. I saw Rafa's longtime agent there. So when Rafa's not in a tournament, and sadly he was in Madrid training the whole time we were there, so we didn't get to see him, but he is a very integral part of the academy and spends a lot of time working with the coaches, working with the players that are there to ensure that everybody gets maximum attention, gets maximum advantage of the time that they are spending at the Rafa Nadal Academy. So I'm going to be quiet now. I'm going to let you hear from our guests. And again, first up is Marc Gorriz. Marc is the head of men's and women's tennis at the Academy. And so you're going to hear from him first. Next, you're going to hear from Daniel Duvall. Danny is the one that was heading up our trip with Avanza Sports. And then you're going to hear from several junior players that were there training at the Academy. Some were part of our group and some were there independent of our group, just there to train and learn to be better tennis players. So what I think is kind of cool about the juniors that I spoke with is they are a variety of levels and playing experiences. So you're going to hear that pretty much anybody that wants to go train at the Rafa Nadal Academy, there is a group for them. There is a way for them to learn and grow as a player and as a human while they're there. And so I hope you'll all really take a closer look at the Rafa Nadal Academy and the camps that they do around the US and South America as well. One last thing before I switch over, I wanted to just let you know that Avanza Sports has set up a discount code for all of you for the Parenting Aces community. So if you do want to sign up for either a junior or an adult camp or a full experience, there are discount codes listed in the show notes on ParentingAces.com. I want you to be sure and take a look at those because it's a nice little savings. And I am really hopeful that all of you will try at some point to either go to one of the camps stateside or in South America, or indulge and go to Spain for the full experience. Avanza did offer, if we get enough people in our community that are interested in taking a trip to Spain, they will put together a special trip for us and work out a nice group price for us. So please reach out to me if that is something that is of interest to you. All right, now I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let y'all hear from everybody that I interviewed during my incredible stay in Spain, and I'll be back at the end.
Marc, first of all, thank you for deciding to talk with me, and wanted to just ask you first to tell us what your position is here at Rafa Nadal Academy.
Well, Lisa, my pleasure. My position here is head coach.
For everybody?
Tennis head coach.
Tennis head coach for juniors and adults, or juniors only?
A bit of everything.
Okay.
Although we have responsibles in every area.
Okay. And so, how long have you been with the academy?
Since the beginning, since we opened in May 2016.
And
earlier, I came a bit earlier.
Yeah.
A few months earlier.
So did you help develop the curriculum for the academy as well? Like the day-to-day, how the training is going to happen, all of that?
Yes, we've been working since the beginning in that. This, of course, is important to set a methodology and a way of practicing and approaching things. We've been working in that since the very beginning, together with my team and of course following what Toni from the property side or from the direction side, Toni and Rafa were coming with.
Okay, and so does the philosophy of training, how does that change as you're seeing changes in the professional game?
I think we haven't changed much. We are quite young academy now. It's 8 years running, and we were never in this period never established like reaching the final point. So we are in it's not that we change something, we are in a continuous, I would say, progress.
Right, so just always changing, learning, growing.
If not changing, at least trying to improve, try to cover more areas, try to perfection the procedures. I would say more improve or getting, being able to reach every possibility. I would say more that than changing.
Okay. And so can you share with us what a typical day looks like for one of your junior players who is training with you?
The players come here to play tennis, of course, at the same time to keep their formation with their studies. So the tennis and the studies, we try to have a good combination with both, and both are important in our day by day. So for example, we have players that train in the morning, others train in the afternoon, according with the school schedules. But for example, one schedule would be start in the morning with tennis, with the sports, have 2 hours 45 of tennis, 1 hour of fitness, and then lunch, and school in the afternoon from 2:30 till 6:30.
Okay.
That, for example, would be a schedule every day. And the schedule in tennis can change. 1 week you start 8 o'clock with tennis, and then you go with fitness. The other week is the opposite. You start with the fitness, and then you go with tennis.
In your opinion, how important is the fitness for the overall development of the player?
It's important more and more. Every area related to the tennis player, it's important. It's a percentage that helps in improving the player. So more and more, all the sport athletes are becoming athletes. So fitness is an important part, of course.
Yeah. And are you involved in developing the fitness piece of the training as well, or somebody else handles that?
No, we have a head coach for the fitness area, the specialist in the area. Of course, we are together. We have meetings with the coaches, fitness coaches and tennis coaches, together because they are in charge of groups, and we think it's important that those two important areas are working together.
Yeah. If somebody wants to come train here, what are you looking for in the player to decide if it's a good fit for them to come here?
In the process to be admitted here, again, we check different areas. The first, we'd say, is tennis. You need to have a certain level to join the academy, because the tennis here is something quite intense and demanding.
I can attest to that
You
after
can
being here all week.
So we recommend that for athletes that are already familiar with the tennis, that are used to have trainings, if not daily, but nearly in a daily basis. So this is the first test to see how much tennis you have on you. Together with that, of course, the school, which is mandatory too. We need to know your grades from your previous school, see which grade you want to join here. Also the English needs to be, because the school is in English, and you need to dominate the language in order to attend the classes. And also another meeting is with boarding. We have the possibility for the players to be in the boarding area, living here. So it's another meeting with the family to try to know how are the family, or how the player would be alone living here, and try to see if it can fit well.
How old is the youngest to come and board and train here?
We have players from boarding here from 12 to 18.
Okay.
12 is the younger age to be in the annual program. Then we have other programs like short programs which are weekly long. Then you can go until 8 years old.
Okay.
To spend, for example, in summer you can spend a week here if you are 8 years old.
And what should the expectation be for someone coming to spend a week or 2 weeks versus, we know somebody coming to live here full time and train, they have a different set of expectations. But to come only for a week or 2 weeks, what can a player learn in that time?
First of all, we want it to be a good experience that the player reminds as something remarkable. Of course, mainly with tennis or other activities we have. In tennis, it's true that in 1 week maybe you cannot actually change many things, but you can receive a lot of inputs and of course apply it in the mid long term. A lot of activities, also part of the tennis, so all together create good experience, but with some learnings that you can apply in the near future.
Yeah. And what is the coach to player ratio on court for the short term and for the permanent residents that board here?
The permanent, we try to have 1-3, sometimes can be better, or in any special occasions can reach 4, but normally is the minimum is 1-3, 1 coach, 3 players. In the short-term programs, it's a maximum 1-4.
Okay.
Maximum.
And that's what I've had all week. I've had either 3 players and a coach or 4 players and a coach for the adult camp. So very
we
similar.
follow it.
You did good. You did really
we
good.
follow it.
You did good. Some of my audience had asked me to ask you, when you get American juniors coming to train here for short-term or long-term, what are some of the things that you see that our kids are missing in the States that you need to help them develop or fix?
The thing that comes first is the habit of playing on hard courts. It's more American style is more fits better into hard court. So what the players demand mostly is a little bit of experience on clay.
Yeah.
How to the different aspects that come with the clay court game.
Such as?
Sliding, for example. Sliding, the building the points. The clay is a bit more slow, and you need more. I don't know if the word is work or think about it. You need to plan better how to create the points. In I don't know if better, but since the point is longer, you need more kind of bit more strategy maybe. Patience for sure.
Yeah.
Because in hard court, with your shots you can damage easier the opponent. On clay you need some extras, and patience for sure is one of them.
Yeah.
and the rotation of the ball is also something that on clay it's recommended, more rotation in the ball. But I have to say that nowadays the game it's closer between surfaces than it was before, and players can easier than before adjust.
And what about in terms of discipline? Are you finding that when you get kids from the US who come and train here, they have the discipline, they're ready to train hard, just like the kids coming from South America or Asia or Europe? Or is there a deficit?
No, it's not a deficit. I cannot classify players by countries in terms of behavior. In terms of style of play, yes, little bit, yes. But in terms of behavior, I would say the world is wide, and we have all kind of characters in all nationalities.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
That's good to hear. Yeah.
But in general, when the players come here, in general, we have good behaviors.
Good.
In general, yes. But of course, sometimes can happen, and of course we try to act. We want, like I imagine every academy, we want that the players behave in the best possible way.
Yeah. I know character development and having good character is kind of one of the cornerstones of the Nadal Academy. It's everywhere around here talking about character. How do the coaches here teach that? How do they help the kids understand the importance of respect, good behavior, patience? I don't know. But
We really think that all these aspects,
sportsmanship.
all this is not apart from the game. We really think that this specifics help the game at the end as well. I think we are convinced that those things can make you a better player, and we have the luck, or let's say, or the good thing to have Rafa Nadal name, to have him as a model, to see him on TV or to see him practicing here, and we just need to try to copy some of those characteristics, and we see them every day when he's here. This makes the thing interesting and makes the thing probably a bit easier for the players. You have a big star here doing what everyone asks you to do. Maybe it's a good way to go, so I think it helps.
He models the behavior, the kids see it, the coaches see it, everybody wants to be like Rafa, because who doesn't want to be like Rafa?
Who doesn't want to be?
That's great. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the kids that board here. Can you talk a little bit about the safety of the facility and making sure the kids are not doing things they're not supposed to do, or just...
We can control, we can have an eye on many things, but not in everything.
Yeah.
Of course, we have a staff to cover the players all day and night.
Yeah.
But of course the facilities are big, and we cannot know at every moment what is happening. And of course sometimes, like everywhere, wrong things can happen. But we try to have it under control. For example, at night there are guardians. Players are sleeping, but we have guardians on board. During the day it's probably a bit easier. We have all the coaches, the fitness coaches, the staff, more guardians. I would like to say that we have the things quite in order, but of course I also like to say that we cannot control everything till the end.
How about in terms of the coaches? How do the coaches go through some sort of vetting process where you do background checks, and then what kind of training is done for the coaches before they start working with the players, so everybody's kind of on the same?
Yeah, of course there's a little formation when the players join the academy. There are different windows during the year where we need coaches. We try to have even if it's a small but presentation or a date or formation for them to follow our lines. A coach needs to be a decent player, doesn't need to be a great player, but decent player to know. He needs to show he knows about the skills he's teaching, and many times it comes friend of a friend, someone already have some idea about this coach. We are right now around 60 coaches in total. This becomes a big network, friend of a friend, I know, so at the end we can cover a lot. We also receive CVs from coaches that want to work here, and of course we have a look at them, and we did some good relations with them too. If we think it's the appropriate CV, the more formation the coach has in tennis is better, but also sometimes we don't need to be coach here. It's not that you need a lot of experience, because we like to provide this formation to coaches. So I would say mainly good players, yes, good people, possible, important, and then we like them to have real will to teach and to be here.
Yeah, I love that. In your opinion, what is the role of the tennis parent?
The most important
role.
role.
Parenting aces, after all. So.
Is, my opinion, is the most important role in tennis. The family behind the player is the number one thing. For many factors. Okay, maybe only tennis is the coach who has the guide, but the family is the first reference for the player. And I like when the family is supporting the player overall, winning or losing, supporting the player. In return, the family, I would say, needs to see or has to see that the player is giving everything. If player is giving everything, family should be there supporting no matter what. And this is the best way to help the player.
Yeah, I like that. Do you have the same coaches working with the full-time academy students as with the short-term students, or are there different coaches that work with the short-time camps?
We have different teams. One team for adults, one team for short-term programs, juniors, adults also short-term, and one team for annual players. But some of the programs are mixing in some sessions, and then the coaches can cooperate in both sides. Let's say the short-term program for juniors in many weeks of the year is mixing partially with the annual players, and then coaches from both teams are cooperating with the other players. Yeah.
When you invite players to come train here, what is it that you see that makes you want to invite them to come be full-time here? What are you looking at?
Well, we want to have a little bit like coaches. We want to have good players. Level is the first thing that attracts our interest. Level through rankings away, or because we've seen some player play in a specific tournament and we think it has a good future. Or players coming here in spending weeks, short-term programs. Then we see them and we think it's a good match, and then we can propose.
Yeah. And you offer scholarships sometimes if the family needs that help?
We also can help in that or cover some parts, some areas in that. Of course, the player needs to has a remarkable level, let's say above the average, or at least to be show already very good skills or possibilities.
One last question, and then I'll let you go. What do you see happening in tennis over the next 5-10 years that you think is going to be a big change in the sport? Technical, playing style, court, surface, whatever, balls?
The sport has evolved like everything in life. It goes through an evolution. Tennis also, if you are able to look big number of years ago, but year by year we don't see that many changes. There are two aspects which are important, which is the speed of the game and control. Speed of the ball and control. Those two aspects are always present. Control cannot change. Control, you have lines and net that you have to fulfill. Yes. Speed is increasing. This, I think, is something that it happened until now, and it will keep happening. The speed game will go faster. People ruling the game should maybe bring something to avoid that speed. Like I heard sometimes comment only one serve, or shorter courts, or maybe wood rackets, no? But I don't know.
You think we're going to do that?
Or bigger balls, something that
to slow it down.
To slow down the speed, maybe. Otherwise, at least the course, for example, 20 years ago, the hard courts were faster than they are now.
Yes.
So something was done already to slow down the speed.
Yeah.
But players keep improving, materials keep improving, and the speed follows their way, so keeps increasing. We'll see if someone comes with something new to control this speed.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to watch. Yeah.
Interesting to watch.
I mean, the athletes keep getting stronger, faster, smarter, right? The game keeps getting quicker. Yeah, it's fun to watch.
The game improves, I think improves, like every sport that you can measure, there are improvements. Tennis you cannot measure, but why should be different? So I imagine any sport is improving because a lot of people is working on it and studying, finding ways to improve. So for sure the game is improving.
Marc, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for taking time to talk with me. And I've had a fabulous week here. I can't wait to come back.
Glad to know. Thank you. Thanks to you for coming. And
the coaches they're just fantastic.
Yes.
Super fun.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to you.
Hello, Danny. Tell us your name and your position.
Okay, my name is Danny. I'm from Barcelona, Spain. I'm the project manager for Avanza Sports.
And what does that mean, project manager?
I basically organize the Rafa Nadal camps in the US and South America, and I also organize the trips, high performance trips for kids and for adults to the academy in Mallorca.
And how do you find people to participate in the trips?
So there's two types of trips, the adults and the juniors. The juniors, basically what we do is during the week of the camp in the US or South America, we do a selection based on level and ability and attitude, values, and then at the end of the week we invite them to come. We want to make sure that everyone that comes here, because it's a big investment for the parents, they're prepared to live an experience like this. Not all of them are prepared at the moment, so I think it's important that we do this selection every week. And then for the adults, it's open for everyone. It's more, the adult trip, it's more a mix between tennis, tourism, fun. And the junior trip is more like a only tennis high performance trip.
So the juniors that came with our group this year,
Yes.
those kids had already gone to a camp and got selected?
Yes, correct. So basically we have couple different trips. This year we are having 4 different high performance junior trips, and doing like 5-6 camps we select a number of players that once they receive the invitation they can join the program, and then we take them all together to these weeks. And it's good because you not only have players from one area, you can have players from South America, you can have players from the US, from North, South. So it's fun to have the different type of players all over the world.
And when the kids come here, after they've come to a camp, they've been selected to come actually to the Nadal Academy in Mallorca, then how do they get chosen to stay full-time to be here?
Yeah, so I always say at the end it's all a process. At the beginning what we want is that they try first the camps. They come to our camps, they train with the methodology. We have a very strict methodology that we follow in Mallorca and in the US or wherever we go to do the camp. Once they are prepared to come here for a week, we select them, and then they're here 10 days. During these 10 days, they're gonna experience how it's gonna be living here. They're gonna be living with the annual players, eating with the annual players, playing with annual players. So it's a good moment for them to know if they see them living here for a year, studying here. So a lot of them, once they experience these 10 days with us, they choose to stay here. It's a hard process because we have very limited spots here in the academy for annual, but always, I mean, we're gonna do a recommendation for them, and of course if they come during these high performance trips, it's easier for them to stay later.
Let's talk a little bit about the camps. First of all, how many days are there? What's the cost of the camps, and what does a typical day look like for the junior players?
So we have 2 types of camps. First camp is the daily camp for juniors. It's from 8:30 to 3 every day. During Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday we work a lot on drills, on technique, on repetition. In the afternoon we also do some match play, and on Friday also we do a little competition where at the end we have a closing ceremony with some prizes. We give also a scholarship to the most talented player of the week. and the one that showed the most values. It's important for us not only like the level they have, but the values they show on the court. Then we also have another type of camp. It's the afternoon camp for the weeks that kids are also, still in school, and that's normally 4 to 8 in the afternoon. And then we also have adult camp that is Monday to Thursday, 2-hour session. And every day we work on a different topic. Mondays normally it's neutral shots, Tuesdays it's defensive, Wednesdays attack, and then Thursday is net game.
Nice, nice. And the cost of the camps?
The cost of the camp, it depends of the program, but the normal program that it's 30 to 3, it's a cost of $975 per the week, and for the adults it's $550.
Okay, great. And we're going to be doing some work together with Parenting Aces and Avanza Sports. Can you talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing?
Yeah, so we're going to have a collaboration. I think it's good that your audience can also join the camp. So we're going to be having a coupon or a code for all the subscribers to your channel, and they're going to have a discount for the camps, for the junior camp and for the adult camp. And then also we're gonna have a way that they can also join the high performance trip and join us in this experience.
That's awesome. I'm really excited about this because after being here all week and going to the Barcelona Open as part of the Avanza group and then coming here to train as part of the Avanza group, you know, I've gotten to see the facilities, I've gotten to talk to a lot of players, coaches, and I feel like there's so much value here, and especially for players that don't live in an area where there are a lot of other kids to practice with and coaches that are training them properly, to get exposure to this type of environment and this level of play is so important in the overall development. Is there something that you guys notice, or maybe not, in American kids in terms of, excuse me, I've got a cough, in terms of their fitness, their mentality on the court, and their level compared to kids from other places?
Yeah, so I mean, of course, every country has their own way of training, their own culture. It's true that historically and nowadays, like, American players usually are more like attacking players. They try to finish the ball faster, finish the point faster. And Spanish players historically are more like grinders or more like big rallies, long rallies. But it depends of the country. I think every country has their own good things and their own bad things. So the good thing of here, of the academy, and also from the camps, is that we have coaches from different countries, different ways of training, but also they all follow the same methodology.
Right.
So that way, like, you can find your own way of training, but following Rafa's methodology, that is hardworking, good values, always giving 100% in every practice. So yeah, I think that's the best thing of Spanish tennis is the culture of hardworking and always give everything once you enter to the court.
What should a player's expectations be if they're coming to a camp versus coming here for the high performance training?
Well, the camp, what you're gonna see, it's the methodology that we use in the academy, the type of coaching, the feedback, but of course it's more reduced. We don't have that many hours a day. I mean, are long days too, but the main difference is that here you live 24/7 like a tennis player. You wake up thinking about tennis, you train, then you have lunch with all the other players, you have dinner with all the other players. At the end, what I always say is that when you come here, especially in this high performance that we have, is that you become like a professional tennis player for 10 days. and it's a good way for them to see if they really like it and they want to do it the rest of their life, because tennis is a sport that requires a lot of effort, put away a lot of things that you may like in your life. And here it's 24/7 thinking about tennis, training, talking to the coaches, talking like you. The environment is tennis, so it's a good opportunity for them to know if that's what they really want and what they want to do with their life.
What's the difference if a player wants to come to the Rafa Nadal Academy of coming through Avanza Sports versus contacting the academy directly and coming that way?
Yeah, so what we do is everyone can come here to the academy the week that they want, but in Avanza Sports what we try to do is like get a group of players with the same mentality, the same ambition, and we group them to form this team of selected players that of course they're gonna have during that week. Is gonna be only with our team here in the academy. We're gonna have everything we need. We also combine it with another city that is Barcelona, where we're gonna be training in another academy, so we can see both academies. Because at the end, this academy it's pretty new. It's something like it has everything players need, but that's not what we grew up in. You know, we grew up in playing in more humble academies. The courts were not as good as these ones. We didn't have all the physios, all the nutritionists, all the psychologists. So we want them to see also the other part of the Spanish tennis. Mm-hmm. And also in Barcelona we do like a Davis Cup, our selected team of players against a selection of players from Barcelona. So that's also a good opportunity to them to face local players. So yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for them.
And so otherwise, if they book directly through the Rafa Nadal Academy, they only come here. They don't get the opportunity to go to Barcelona, train at the other academy.
Exactly, and they need to fly by themselves and just like arrange everything by themselves. Here, the good thing of coming as with this group is that they don't have to worry of anything else that just play tennis and do as best as they can.
Yeah. So if people want to get information on Avanza Sports and the different programs that you offer, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, you're gonna have our link of our website in the notes of this podcast, but you can also follow us in social media in Avanza Sports on Instagram and Facebook, and you can also check our website. And also you're gonna have in notes my email for any request, any questions you have.
And the discount codes.
And the discount code's important.
I'm
Very
sorry,
important.
I keep coughing. There's something tickling my throat today. Well, Danny, I have had a fantastic week. I mean, every minute has been fantastic and beautiful, and I'm exhausted. Every muscle in my body hurts, but it's been so. Excuse me. I'll edit that out. Sorry. It's been so worth it, and I feel like I have a lot of new tips and tactics and techniques to try when I get home, and hopefully we'll be able to improve my playing, and I know the junior players feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed. That's the most important thing for us, and we hope to see you soon.
Okay, so I am with Elena and with Millie. Both have been here all week training. Elena, tell us where you're from and how old you are.
I'm from California and I'm 16.
And Millie?
I'm from Ireland and I'm 16.
Awesome. And for both of you, is it your first time at the academy?
Yes.
And you were both here for the 1 week camp?
I was here 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. So Millie, I'm going to start with you. Tell me what your day was like. So from the time you wake up, what you did every day.
So I was staying in the like where the players stay. So I woke up at 7:30, and then I got breakfast, and then I came straight to the courts. We had training for like, what was it, 2 hours?
3 hours.
the outdoor clay, and then we did fitness for like an hour and a quarter in like the gym. They have great facilities, and then we had lunch for like 2.5 hours, and we'd go to the clubhouse and get food. It was really nice. And then after lunch we had off court, so it's like they talk tactics and like nutrition and stuff for an hour, and then I had tennis again for like 2 hours after that, and then the rest of the day you can do what you want.
Okay, and how about you, Elena?
Well, mine was a little different because I came here with my parents, so I only did the morning sessions. So I woke up, ate breakfast, went out to the clay courts for 3 hours of hitting and drills, and then towards the end of the week we would do more match play points. And then after that we had our fitness, which we would bike or do strength or mobility depending on the day. And then I would go to lunch, and then I spent a lot of my afternoons with my parents sightseeing around Mallorca.
Nice. And for both of you, what level were you coming in here? Like, if you know your WTN, your UTR, your ranking, something like that, just to give the audience a reference point for your level.
Well, I played like twice a week in Ireland because I go to boarding school, but on the weekends I play. And I do UTR, but in Ireland it's more like TI, Tennis Ireland, which is another league, but I started UTR here as well.
Do you know what your rating is or your ranking?
I've only done 2 matches because I just started here.
So you're new?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And how about you, Elena?
And I used to do a lot of tournaments, but not so much recently. I play one doubles on my high school team, and we went to states last year, so we're like pretty good, I'd say. But my UTR is around 4, but I don't play that many matches.
Got it. And for both of you, do you feel like your tennis improved this week, or is there something else that you feel like you gained from being here all week, like to help overall your tennis?
I feel like I've learned lots of more like techniques on like how to hit with more power and control, and yeah, they've kind of have taught me a lot, and I got a good tan. So.
That's important.
Yeah, I think I liked how the coaches didn't try to like change our strokes or anything. They just really gave us tips to like perfect what we have. So I feel like I made a lot of progress this week just from like playing so much and doing so much work. And the coaches were just super nice and like friendly to hang out with and talk to, so it was super fun.
Yeah. Did you have expectations coming into this week about what it would be like to be here?
I was kind of nervous because I thought that for the fitness and stuff that we'd have to run laps and stuff. Like, I like running, but not that much. So the fitness was easier than I thought, which is kind of good, but it was more like mobility and like strength, so then endurance, so it was good. But I think the tennis is like up to my standard. We played a good amount of hours, and like the coaches were pretty good and stuff.
I think I really just underestimated the place. Like, I was like, oh, we're gonna play tennis at the Rafa camp, but once I got here I was like amazed by all the courts and how many players are here and just all the different levels and ages. It was pretty shocking, but it was really fun.
Did you either of you get a chance to talk to some of the full-time academy students while you were here? Did you get to meet them? Because you stayed in the dorm, yeah?
Yeah, well, yeah, we talked to them sometimes, but like we trained with them in the morning actually, so yeah, we mixed with them quite a bit.
Yeah, but they've been doing a lot of tournament training this week for their tournament, so there were some times where we would split off from them, and just the weeklies and the annuals.
Got it. And if you go back home and you have friends that are saying, oh, I'm thinking about going to the Rafa Academy, what would you tell them about coming here?
Well, some of my friends are saying that they could have come with me, but like I feel like you have to have a good bit of tennis experience to come here. Like, you can't really come here if you have never played. Like, you could, but it's just quite intense, and like the training, you have to be pretty good. But like, I'd say definitely come because it's like really fun, and there's like so many things to do, like besides tennis as well.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I would totally recommend to my friends to come here for my team.
And what would you tell them about it? Like, how would you manage their expectations to coming in?
I would tell them that it's just amazing. I would say be ready to work hard and be ready to like do the fitness, and the coaches will push you. Like, you can't slack off, but it'll be worth it in the end. And I think everyone who comes here will make some progress.
if you could name one thing that you're taking away that you'll integrate into your tennis when you go back home, can you name that one thing?
Can it be like a little technique thing?
It can be anything.
Well, two things. One thing for me was just keeping my elbow high. It sounds funny, but it's so easy to forget and just launch the ball out. So the coaches all the time were just like, hold your finish, hold your finish. So I'll definitely, when I'm hitting the balls out a lot, think about that. And then also with my serve, just on my seconds, like really just try to keep the same motion, but slow it down a little.
And how about you, Millie?
I got told like a lot that I hit with way too much power and I need more control, so I'm gonna take that in and like kind of slow the pace down, but when I need to use the power, do, and just like when I don't need to use the power, like defense and offense, you know. Yeah.
How did the training here compare to what you do at home?
I think it's way more intense, but also it was really fun. Like training at home, you don't get the same experience, like just with your coach or your team. Like this is like amazing.
I'd say that the tennis sessions were like kind of similar. They were a lot longer and hotter than Ireland, but like I'd say that it's a full day, so it's like hard enough. So you have to be like on your game all the time. So yeah.
Anything else y'all want to share?
Actually, yeah. Well, it's in Mallorca.
Mallorca.
No, but the town is called Manacor. Sorry.
Yeah.
The town's really nice, but like you come in here and it's like a different world. It's like out there, it's kind of like a bit run down, but like it's a lovely town. But then in here, it's like you feel like you're in a different city. It's like amazing, and it's so big, and like they have like 47 courts or something. It's amazing.
It seems like its own town, but I would recommend anyone who loves tennis to come here.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Ashwin and Yashwin, thank you so much for letting me interview you. Ashwin, I'm going to start with you. Tell us how old you are and where you're from.
I'm 15 from Dublin, California.
And what grade are you finishing this year?
I'm finishing 9th grade this year.
Finishing what?
9th?
9th, okay.
Yeah.
And Yashwin?
I'm from Dublin, California as well, and I'm finishing 10th grade this year.
And you're how old?
15.
15. And can you tell us what level of tennis you are? UTR ranking?
9.2 UTR and like 120 in the class of 9th grade, so like a 4-star.
Okay, awesome.
And I'm around an 11 UTR, and I'm around 50 in my class, my graduating class.
Awesome, awesome. So what made y'all want to come to the academy this week?
You want to go first?
Coach Kevin contacted us like 6-7 months ago about this opportunity, and I kind of can't refuse it, right? A week in Spain and get to train at this like amazing facility. So I think I also wanted to see like how all the best juniors in the world trained, and yeah, these facilities are amazing.
Yeah.
It's a nice place I've been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yashwin, you?
Yeah, we just we heard about the experience a while ago, and it's Rafa Nadal Academy, and we got a week to come here, so we just wanted to train and see how the competition's here and how they train fitness and the daily schedule.
So you guys came without your parents this trip. How was that traveling internationally? You know, you were with a group of adults, but you're on your own too.
Yeah, it was actually a lot more fun, I think, without our parents.
I was gonna say it was easy.
We got a lot more freedom, and we were just doing everything by ourselves. So it was actually a good experience for the future and stuff when we need to travel by ourselves, internationally. Mm-hmm. So I think it was good, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, the flights were easy, and we kind of got to do what we wanted, which was nice. We went on the tours of Barcelona, but we chose which ones we wanted to do, and we kind of do everything on our own schedule, which I like.
Yeah, yeah. So you did the whole experience where we went to the Barcelona Open for a couple days, then we flew to Mallorca and started in with the tennis training. But a lot of juniors choose to come, just straight here. Did you feel like adding that Barcelona piece was valuable for you in terms of just the overall experience?
I think it was actually very valuable because we got to see the pros play in the tournament, and just like watching them from that close, up close, seeing how they move and like how they hit the ball, like it was like such a good experience to like take away a lot of the information and like stuff that we could learn from them, and watching them so up close, like it was just so different from like watching them on the TV.
For sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say same thing. We gotta watch them first, more or less first row, and very good seats. You get to like learn how they play and take some things away. But it's also good, I think, to kind of give your body 2 or 3 days of just rest. Because when you come here, you're playing like 5 hours of tennis and 1 hour of fitness. I think if I was playing every day and then I came here, I think I would have been so much more tired on the first couple days, and it would have made the week much less enjoyable.
So it gave you some time to acclimate to the time difference, get over the jet lag. Yeah. So when you got here,
you're fresh, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So tell us about what your typical day looked like here. Did you guys stay in the dorms with the full-time players?
Yeah, we dormed there.
Okay.
So we started at the second session of practice at 10:45, but we still would have to wake up at 7:45, 7:30, go grab breakfast at the hall. The food's amazing here, by the way. And then we would go like 10:45 to 1:15 tennis, and then I would have lunch, and I would practice 2:30 to 5:15, and then I do fitness 5:30 to 6:30, and then I would sleep.
Joshua, were you on the same schedule?
Yeah, I had the same 10:45 group as him, so we just wake up at like 7:30 and go get breakfast together. But then I would have fitness at 3:45, so after the 10:45 I'd eat lunch and then get like a little bit of break, and then I'd have 3:45 fitness, and then 5:15 tennis, and then I'd finish around 8.
Wow.
Yeah, and then dinner after that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, on Spanish dinner time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Talk a little bit about the fitness training and compare it to what you are used to doing at home.
It's definitely different. The gym here is very nice. They have some equipment like on the bench press and the squat racks that'll measure, I think, the quality of your reps and everything. So it's really good at tracking your performance and how much you're improving and your strength's improving. But other than that, I mean, the routines are good and they're well structured. So yeah, I think the fitness back home is a little bit different. We're obviously not an academy, but it's a lot less weightlifting. There's more weightlifting here, a lot less detailed. Back home, they don't track and write your progress down, but here they keep track of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think at home, like in our practice, like in terms of fitness, we only do like a little bit of like agility and like cardio. But like here you warm up with cardio and then you start like weightlifting, squatting, bench press, and like they track like your velocity per rep, and then like it's a lot more of explosive movements in every single exercise that you do. So I mean it's much better fitness here, and it helped us a lot, I think.
Yeah, it's very tennis specific.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. And so do you feel like you learned things in your fitness here that you'll be able to take home and implement and incorporate into your training?
Yeah, for sure. Like a lot of the work we did, especially with bands and stuff, that they're very tennis specific to tennis movements. So like you'll be in a bunch of lunges using bands, you'll be in a bunch of side lunges, and like that really helps with the different like stances and footwork you use in tennis. So I think like over the progression of the week itself, like I was able to see like the progress I was making like with the fitness that we did, and it was like translating onto the court.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the experience in the dorms. So meeting some of the other players, I'm assuming you got to meet some of the full-timers and interact with them.
Yeah, so it was nice, I would say. We have a roommate who's Swedish. So the weeklies are in their own dorm rooms, and the full-timers are in their separate dorms. But I think the dorm rooms are pretty nice. They're pretty neat. There's 3 people in one dorm if you're weekly, and if you're annual, there's only 2 people. But I would say the dorm rooms are pretty nice, but most of the time we're just in the tents.
There wasn't a lot of social interaction?
Actually, at 9 p.m.
9
we'd
p.m.
do an activity every night.
activities.
So like a lot of the kids from like annuals and weeklies, they just like come down to the reception area. Like one day we did dodgeball. There was like another day where we did like board games. So we met a bunch of people from we met some people from the USA, we met some people from Hong Kong, like all over.
So, yeah, we would hang out with like our friends and their dorm rooms and stuff.
Yeah, that's very cool. And in terms of coming back here, like if you could have the dream scenario, would you come back again as a 1-week camper, or if you could do whatever you wanted, would you come back here full time and train? And why?
I think I might just do, I don't know if I could do this for a whole year. I think if I could, I think I would do this for 3 or 4 weeks and see if I could handle it. Because I think if you're here actually annually, you train a little bit less. You only have like 3 hours of tennis and 1 hour of fitness. So I think I could do that, but I think I would miss my parents a lot.
Yeah.
And the food is, while it's really good, it's almost like the same thing every day, kind of.
How about you, Joshua?
Yeah, I think I would probably like to stay here for like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't think I could do a whole year, especially like because like you don't get to leave the campus, so like you don't get to like go outside and stuff, and like I mean like hanging out with your friends and family and stuff at home like while playing tennis, like I feel like that's much easier and like much more physically and like mentally like less demanding. I mean here like we didn't do school this week, so we were playing a lot more tennis and fitness than like the normal annual kids, but at the same time, like everyone here, like the friends you make are just like the same ones you see every day, you know, like you don't get to see like the old school friends you made anymore, so
Yeah.
I don't think I could do this like a whole year.
Yeah, you also, I was going to say, it's nice to talk to people who don't play tennis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or just like the friends I have back at home. And you can't really because you can't leave here, you can't go watch movies with your friends or just like hang
Right.
out.
Right. What is your goal for your tennis? And Joshua, I'll start with you.
Okay. My goal is to play Division I tennis in college, and then if I can after that, try to play pro. But yeah, I'm training to like get into college right now, and then hopefully play D1 on a team. Yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Ashley?
Yeah, more or less same here, D1 for me. I think if my level reaches a point where I can go pro, I could, but you don't make much money, and like I would like to maybe start my own company or just do something in the workplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, something different than tennis.
Yeah. I think that's a common goal, you know, to train for high-level college and then use those skills to move into the real world, quote, quote, the real world. When you go home and you're sharing this experience with your other tennis friends, what are some of the things you tell them were great and some of the things you'd say, you know, they can maybe do this a little better or that a little better?
I think some of the things that we tell them that were really great, like about this place, is like the schedule and like the equipment they have and the facility. I mean, like this place is like it's so organized, and like every day you have like a training schedule, like, and you work with the same people, and like it's very organized, and like you can feel that like you're improving like every day. But like some of the things that weren't as good are like, I feel like, I mean, the food is like the same like every day. Maybe that's one thing.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the time, like the coaches, you're working on like more repetition-based things. They don't teach too much of technique. So like some of the kids who like maybe could be better, like if they had better technique, are like not able to improve to that certain extent because like the coaches here work more on repetition than technique.
Yeah, I was gonna say, facilities are amazing. Schedule is great, but as far as downsides, yeah, like see, I have Kevin, and I know he knows my game, and we can work on stuff in one-on-ones. I feel like they don't really have many one-on-one sessions, and if your technique is not great and you come here, you'll get better because of the repetition, but you could almost get better at home just working with your coach on fixing some game flaws. They won't change your game at all, and sometimes, you know, you need some coaching that will guide your game into a different direction.
So what was your expectation coming here, and was that expectation met?
I think my expectations coming here were actually pretty high. I mean, I knew it was gonna be like we knew it was gonna be pretty rigorous, and it was, yeah. But I think definitely it was like worth it, and like we learned a lot from like how much physical effort we had to put into our training, and like just like overall throughout the entire week. I mean, we would just get more tired, but like the coaches like make you push yourself like when you're tired, and like that's why like all the kids here are so like fit compared to like a bunch of the kids we train with at home.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I would say my expectations were met, for sure. I was, like, the facility just blew my mind. I didn't think it was going to be anywhere near this big.
I'm with you.
And the training was great. Everything was great. I thought we were going to be able to go out into the city and have a little more free time. but I actually didn't mind the fact that we didn't have that much free time. I think my expectations are definitely met, maybe even surpassed.
Yeah. Did the coaches do any drills with you that you were like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before? Or did everything feel familiar, but maybe the way that they guided you through the drills was different?
I feel like there's a lot of patterns, like 2 cross court, 1 down the line, 3 cross court, 1 down the line, where in home sometimes we do it, but we kind of rarely do it. But here they'll do like 15 minutes, so basically 30 minutes of just that one drill.
Yeah.
And you really kind of hone in on that, and so you really get a groove and find some good rhythm here. So they're more focused here, and they do things for a longer time, I think. And they do a lot of drills, like pattern drills, that like we know about, but we don't do it that much.
Okay.
Yeah, I think during the start of the week especially, we worked on like a lot of like directional drills and stuff, like hitting to a certain place, like one person would be moving the other player around and you just be hitting right back to them. But I think like in terms of those drills, a lot of the things we did were similar, but there was a bunch of drills that we did like involving like when we start at the net, like remember the doubles drills we did in the first 2 days, like those drills we've never done before, like in terms of like improving your hand skills and like skills at the net. Like it was like really fun to like play those like games, I guess, with like the other kids in our group.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They do volleys here very differently.
Yeah.
Typically, like we just go up to the net, hit some volleys, hit some overheads. But here they have kind of patterns like approach shot, volley, overhead, and then you get lobbed and you go back and you kind of restart. So they do volleys in a different way here, which is like more real world kind of.
Yeah.
Just nicer.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're going home better players than when you arrived?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we learned a lot, and like especially on the physical side, like I feel like we got way stronger in our conditioning and like like how they work, like how much work they put into like each drill they do here. And like I think from especially like we had a bunch of different coaches during the week, so we in our morning group we'd have like 2 coaches, in our afternoon group we'd have the other 2 coaches, and like just getting insight from each and every coach. Like there's just so much more information that we retain like throughout the week.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm so glad I got to meet you, and I appreciate y'all taking time to talk with me, and I'm gonna keep an eye on both of you. You've got an Easter Bowl shirt on. I was at Easter Bowl this year.
Yeah.
So next time I will look for you and come cheer you on court.
For sure.
And thanks you guys. It's been
All right,
fun.
thank you.
Yeah.
So now I am with Nigel and Mateo, and y'all, can you tell us your name and where you're from?
Hi, I'm Nigel, and I'm from Bay Area, California.
I'm Mateo Grier from San Diego.
And how old are you?
I'm 18,
17.
And what grades?
senior.
Both seniors, yeah.
Both seniors.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Y'all have had very different routes to get here. So, Nigel, I'm going to start with you.
Yep.
You came as part of the same group through Avanza that I'm with.
Yes.
And so tell me, how did you find out about coming on this trip?
Well, so I first heard about it through my coach, Kevin, back in California, and I felt like it was an opportunity I couldn't really pass up, you know, so and now I'm here and I'm super glad I took it. It's been really, really fun and a lot of good experiences, so yeah.
Awesome.
I enjoyed it.
And Mateo, how did you wind up here?
So back in home, Avanza does local camps, and they give a scholarship to one person for each camp. And I happened to win it, and I'm here now for the performance camp. So I've been here for this camp, and then they have an experience with Barcelona the week before that I went to.
Okay.
So it's been a pleasure.
And so are you going home at the end of this week as well?
Yeah, I'm going home.
Okay,
Yeah.
Awesome. Can you tell me what level of player you are, if you have a rating or a ranking that kind of, just to help the audience understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go.
All right, I'm like a 6.7 UTR, around that range, so.
And you played tournaments?
Tournaments, yeah, I do high school tennis, so that's basically my main thing right now. Not as much time for tournaments, but I've been doing, practices and stuff with my team, so yeah.
Awesome.
So I've been playing for 2 years right now. I'm 18, so I started at 15 years old, and then so I play high school tennis and then I play tournaments. And my level right now is a 4 UTR, and it's been really awesome because playing a lot of tennis has allowed me to keep up with good players and play good. So
Good. So what expectations did you each have out of coming here to train versus, you already went to the camp, Mateo, and that's good because I want you to talk about the difference between the camp and being here.
Yeah.
But what expectations did you have coming here?
I was expecting to have like a very very intense workout. I felt the need to prepare a lot for this camp. I felt the need that I had to be ready for it because if I didn't do anything, I don't think I would have done as good.
And so what did you do to get ready?
I played tennis, just build my tennis game, but also physically because I know that if I can physically play, my tennis game can be better because I have to do good.
Balance it out.
Yeah, balance it out for my experience. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And what about you, Nigel?
Yeah, so I did go to a camp before last year. It was a tennis camp in SoCal, but
An Avanza camp?
no, it wasn't Avanza. It was something else. But so I kind of knew roughly like what it would be like, camp sort of thing. But right off the bat, like the facilities are like crazy nice. Like I was not expecting that at all. And adding on to that, like all the coaches and all the resources we have in the clinics is like also like really, really nice to have. So it was, I really liked it. Yeah.
Talk about interacting with the full-timers here, what that was like.
It's been really fun. They're really nice.
They're all so nice.
They're all really cool, and the coaches too. They're super nice guys, super patient, super fun.
All of them, yeah.
And they do their job very well, and
definitely
the coaches definitely help a good environment for the campers, and
yeah,
they do a good mix of annuals and us, so we can play against the good players that are here, and also play with the people around us. So.
Yeah, and everyone's like so welcoming too, so it's just like super nice to be around, So
yeah.
Did you guys mix with the girls at all, or do they keep y'all pretty separate?
We mix. Like today, I played a TR match with a girl, so they do it based off of age and level.
Yeah.
So you get a good balance of what you have. So it's not always. You're not always playing the same player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what about like in the spare time? I know in the evenings, Ashwin and Yashwin told me they did programming at night. So was that for everybody, the boys and the girls together?
Well, so the schedule's good, but like the free time you get really wiped out because you do a lot,
you do.
So you want to rest. So I've been struggling to do homework.
Yeah.
That's for
a
sure.
little bit, yeah.
But it's definitely worth it. It's super worth it, and it's the time we have is really nice because we get to go walk around and look around and take a shower, go in the room, just get ready for the next training. So
you can definitely squeeze some time out if you need to, like for homework or something. But I guess like it is a little hard because it's like you get finished with practice, you walk back to the dorm, shower, and then it's like food in the cafeteria and stuff. But like there's time in between.
Yeah, there's a good schedule so that we can fit stuff in.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had to pick one thing that you feel like you're going to be able to take home and add to either your training or the way you play or something else, can you pick something?
You go.
Me?
Yeah, you go. I have to think about it.
Yeah. All right, let's see. There's a lot of things like technically I could take away. Like I got a lot of tips for my serve and forehand. But I'd say just like the work ethic, I feel like, because the fitnesses we did were also like super like grueling and intense. I feel like way more so than what I did back home. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's what I'd take away, kind of the intensity in fitness. I feel like off the court. Okay. So
yeah. So one thing I would say that I'm gonna bring home is one thing that they really emphasize is because we just have a week with them is to do what they teach us back at home.
Yeah.
And another thing would be to, one thing I learned personally was to focus on the solutions and not the problems during a match because it's easy to mess up in tennis. So you have to make sure that you're really doing the right thing. So, yeah.
That's a good one. And I know that, the underlying philosophy here at the Nadal Academy is everything to do with character, right? Character, work ethic, as you're saying. How did that come through in the instruction, do you think?
Really good. Like, I think the environment that they put you in, it really makes you have to focus. Like, I know there's moments they also understand that you're gonna get mad and you're gonna get frustrated, but in the environment that we're in makes us want to like put that effort in to like do the right things, because they emphasize those values. So when they remind us what they expect, it helps us focus on what to put in the court.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like everybody around you is also like in the same boat, like trying to build themselves up. And like when you're in an environment like that, you can't help but like, you can't not get better, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like super cool environment to be in. And, you learn a lot from it, I feel like, because there's so much good competition,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Mateo, I want to ask you about winning the scholarship here.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that, how that came about.
Oh, so locally, there's local Avanza camps around the world, actually.
Right.
And there's one locally where I live in San Diego, and I went to the camp. I attended there, and just for context, like how you win it is they look at the game, but not just your tennis game, but they really focus on your character and fitness, and they take you as a whole, as a person and a player, to see if you fit for the scholarship. And one thing I noticed is that you don't have to be the best player, you don't have to be the nicest guy per se, but you have to be like a complete person physically, like the best character that fit the values of the academy.
And so what was involved in the scholarship? Just totally, they paid for everything for you to come, or what?
So when we came here, I think the only things we had to pay for was the trip here.
Okay.
And then everything else, so boarding the place, eating food is all included. So it's really special to be here and have some good food. That's free, because I'd be eating too much and I'd be broke. So.
Do you think you will come back, either of you?
I definitely will be. I don't know about you, so.
I don't know. Maybe I'll see. Because I definitely want to keep playing in college, recreationally. But we'll see. It's definitely a cool environment, and I definitely enjoy coming back. So. Yeah.
Would you tell your friends to come?
For sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mateo, do you want to play in college, or?
I do. So I'm planning it. There's a lot to go into tennis in college, so there's a lot of planning. So figuring out. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else I didn't ask y'all that you want to tell people about your experience here?
So I mean, I think one thing is if you have the opportunity to do it, definitely take advantage of it, because not everyone gets the chance to have, not everyone has the resources or the time. So definitely take advantage of it if you're interested, and take the risk.
Yeah, have the chance.
It's better to go than not go. So that's
I agree.
Yeah. Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank
Safe
you.
travels home.
Hey.
I hope you've all enjoyed hearing from the coaches, the project manager, and the players that I met while at the Rafa Nadal Academy. And I hope it's inspired you to take a closer look and maybe plan a trip to either one of the camps or to the academy itself in Mallorca, Spain. I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will catch you next time on Parenting Aces.